Yeah, I would want to quit Hollywood too. Welcome back to the 511 show. And you know what? Tom Holland has made some very interesting comments over the last few years, and I'm starting to believe I don't think he wants to be an actor anymore. And I can't for the life of me figure out why he wouldn't want to be okay. That's probably why. Let's rewind here for a second. This is a story from a year and a half ago, and when I originally heard this story, I thought that Tom was being a little bit soft, that he was being a little bit British, let's just call it that way. Because essentially, he was saying that after filming a miniseries on Apple TV called The Crowded Room, that as an actor, he felt emotionally broken and he really just needed to get away from the business for a while. And the comments he was making made it seem like that he really didn't want to be there anymore. And you think to yourself, oh, you're just being a little soft. It's only acting. You know, you get paid millions of dollars to do this. Just suck it up. And then when you actually see the role that he was playing and the things that he did in the movie, you kind of be like, I kind of understand why he wants to get out. Perhaps this is a cry for help. Yeah, so Tom Holland, who's known for being Spider-Man in the MCU, he's also known for being Zendaya's boyfriend, if you're into that kind of thing, but a year and a half ago, he did a series called The Crowded Room. It was basically based on the first man who had ever been, I guess, found not guilty of crimes of reason of insanity. So he essentially used his multiple personality disorder as a means of getting off of a multitude of crimes that he committed during that time period. One of his personalities was a woman who you saw in the photo there, making love to a very, very strong man at a nightclub. That happened. And at that time, he got a lot of praise for doing an LGBTQ scene in that miniseries. But as you can see here, I don't think he really enjoyed that as much as people watching it at home enjoyed it. And it wasn't that many people who enjoyed watching it at home. He went on to say that the role left him with certain emotions that he definitely hadn't experienced before. I would hope not. And it also said that it gave him a lot of pressure. And it says that I'm no stranger to hard work. I've lived by the idea of hard work is good work. But then again, the show did break me. He says that there did come a time where I needed a break and disappear. And I went to Mexico for a week and had time on the beach and laid low. Now I'm taking a year off. And that is the result of how difficult the show was. I'm excited to see how it turns out. I feel like our hard work wasn't in vain. It was a tough time for sure. He went on to say in a separate interview here that he had a little bit of a meltdown because he got so into character, like certain characters got into him. He says that, it was very, very hard to shake off and get rid of that character. He says that I was seeing myself within him, maybe in my personal life. I remember having a bit of a meltdown at home and thinking, I'm going to shave my head. I need to shave my head because I got to get rid of this character. Obviously, we're mid shooting, so I decided not to. It was unlike anything I ever experienced before. This was Tom Holland's comments a year and a half ago. And you have to assume that what he did in that film and the character that he portrayed probably brought a lot of trauma, and it seems like it was a lot of real life trauma in his life that he probably didn't need otherwise. So fast forward a year and a half later, and now Tom Holland is saying that, you know what, when I have kids, when that ever occurs, I probably just want to go ahead and give up acting altogether. I don't want to be a part of this business anymore. And you start thinking to yourself, is Tom Holland trying to tell us that he just wants out and maybe for whatever reason he can't get out? Because, hey, he said Danny's boyfriend, right? And that's kind of the big story that's been going around here. Apparently, they may or may not be engaged. I don't know. I don't care too much about celebrities' life to figure it out, even for the sake of this video. But he went on to say some very, very interesting comments here. Obviously, he talked about, when he's on the red carpet with Zendaya, he doesn't want to steal her moment because it's all about her. And I can only imagine what she's doing to him behind closed doors. But this doesn't sound like a very, what's the best way of describing this on the YouTube? It doesn't sound like a very guy who's very confident in himself. Let's put it that way. Maybe that role brought out some feelings in him that he didn't know that he had, that he probably needs to work on getting rid of. But he does say here, this is very, very interesting. When you go down a little further into this article here, the two actors have been public with their relationship for, I guess, the last few years now, but he did talk about essentially what his future could look like and how having a kid could lead to essentially the end of his career. He says, "When I have kids, you will not see me in movies anymore," Holland said. "Golf and dad, I will just disappear off the face of the earth." Very, very interesting comments. It seems like over the last 2 years, at least, I wouldn't say that, the last 2 years, Tom Holland really doesn't care much about being an actor in Hollywood anymore. And that could be for a multitude of reasons. Maybe he's just sick and tired of having all the pressure on himself right now. Because, like I said, he is the MCU Spider-Man. He's still young enough as an actor that they can make Spider-Man movies with him for the next 10, 15 years if they want to. I mean, he's only 28 years old. I think it's safe to say that with the last Spider-Man movie, I believe was No Way Home, it was the first time I actually bought him as the character as Spider-Man. I hadn't really bought him as Spider-Man up to this point, but he's in his late 20s. He can do this for, I guess, at least another 10 years, maybe 15 years if you're super desperate. And it's Hollywood, so they're super desperate. I mean, we all know the joke from Deadpool, till you're 90, right? So who knows? Maybe he'll be around forever and ever. But I just get the feeling that when he's putting these comments out there, he's kind of letting us know that, maybe he just doesn't care about, the Hollywood game anymore. Maybe he doesn't care about being the number one actor and being a part of the Marvel conglomerate, the Marvel machine, the Disney machine. Maybe he doesn't really care much about being a part of this relationship with his high-profile girlfriend, who may be his high-profile fiance now. Maybe he just wants to step away and be a normal person. And I know that for a lot of people, everyone dreams of being the biggest star in Hollywood, because when you're in Hollywood or you're looking at what Hollywood is from the outside, who wouldn't want to be the guy who, gets paid $20 million a movie, $30 million a movie, be super famous, you can date any A-list celebrity that you want to, you could be on top of the mountain, and that's the way they sell the dream for many actors. But then when you realize when certain people get to the top of the mountain, you gotta do certain things to stay on top, or else they'll knock you down. And some of the things they may want you to do may very well destroy your soul on every conceivable level. And maybe Tom Holland has hit that point here. I want to shoot this one over to you guys here. Am I projecting that there may be something going on with Holland, that he may just be done with, I wouldn't say acting. I'm not going to go as far as to say that he doesn't like acting anymore. I don't think he likes Hollywood anymore. I don't think he likes the industry that Hollywood has created and the things that they make you do in order to be a part of that industry. Maybe he's just done with that. Is that pretty safe to say? Let me get your comments below in the video and see how you guys are feeling about this whole thing, because I think that our boy Spider-Man, he probably wants out. And I think that with everything that has happened to him over the last couple of years, he may be justified in wanting to get out.